Good morning, Dawn. I don't know if my sound is good. Good morning, Yoav, or soon to be Shabbat Shalom. Is it Shabbat already over there? I don't think it's Shabbat over there already yet. It's summer. There is the link. I'm going to pin it. Hello, Ixnan. The man who is even more chud than I am. What? What are you talking about? Father Stephen on Tucker? What? Please tell me this is real. If this is real, I am going to laugh like there's no tomorrow, and then we're doing a commentary stream. Tucker Carlson. What? I think he's pulling my leg. He must be pulling my leg. Can't possibly not be pulling my leg. Oh my God! Wow. Okay, we are watching this. This is going to be interesting. Wow. Okay. My dear ladies and gentlemen, Father Stephen DeYoung on Tucker Carlson. No wonder he hasn't been coming on my channel.
Lamar, what are the Nephilim? And
this is
thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have read Genesis, I don't know, if most of my life. Never noticed the first part of chapter 6 with the Nephilim until about 4 years ago. Someone mentioned it to me. And in the subsequent years, I must have had 25 conversations about the Nephilim. So it seemed worth talking to someone who understands exactly what the Nephilim are. What are the Nephilim? And am I pronouncing it correctly?
I mean, good enough.
Okay, I have to say, this is going to do wonders for my channel. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. You know, after Josiah Trenum and sister, was it Agrippina Stephanopoulos? Ooh. It's only an hour and 45 minutes long. It's only an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah, it's the I am at the end. The im is the plural in Hebrew.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's a little bit of debate about where exactly the word comes from, because it's not a regularly used Hebrew word in the Hebrew Bible, which isn't all that odd either. There are a lot of words that are only used once in the Hebrew Bible.
Did you see this?
People have tried.
No, what is this? I honestly just saw that you were streaming and I clicked, and I have no context for what I'm jumping myself into. I see Father Stephen DeYoung talking about something. I didn't watch Paul's stream. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I didn't watch, I only watched a little bit of Paul's stream. And so, frankly, I was kind of like, Father Stephen DeYoung video just dropped with Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson interviewed Father Stephen DeYoung
for an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, that's short by Father Stephen DeYoung standards.
This is what we're watching. Look at the watermark on the bottom right.
All right, I'm intrigued. You have my attention.
Do you know what they're talking about?
Demons.
Nephilim.
Yeah, Nephilim.
Yep. He just started explaining what Nephilim are.
Great. What a world that we live in.
You know this wave is going to get me at least 50 more subscribers, right?
Yeah. So
I am going to have dozens more subscribers.
dozens. We will be rolling in the quarters and dollars of ad revenue. It'll be amazing.
Well, I don't know about dollars. I haven't made it up to dollars yet. But
what's your view on the Nephilim?
My view is that the most literal reading of most surface reading, the Pshat level reading of Genesis 6 is you are talking about Game of Thrones type behavior between lordly men and lower class men. Yeah.
No. Yeah. So it's a human only at that level.
At the Pshat level, at the surface level, I think it is talking about. Yeah, it is clearly. So this comes from us being completely the idea of lords being called lowercase g gods being so oh my god okay, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to continue streaming.
That's fine.
Wow, this is
do what you need to do. I'll just do a gentle pitch. I interviewed John Vervaeke and Jonathan Peugeot earlier today on AI stuff and AI updates.
Okay, so like there's even more stuff. Yoav is here.
That'll come out Monday morning probably.
Yoav is here. He's going to if I need to leave the stream, which I probably will soon. Hold on. Yeah, you guys start.
Hello, Yoav. But although I can't play the Tucker Carlson video and turn it on and off like Jacob can.
Of course you can.
I can't. How can? Well, I can just present things.
You could share your own screen. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I can share screens.
It's on it's on X. That's where I would stream it from if I were.
Oh, I mean, it's on plain old YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm just what is he incredibly? Oh, the AI discussion was with Vervaeke. You know what? I'll probably stream more in a couple of hours. This is just so annoying.
I can catch you later.
Are you going to be around later?
Probably, if things don't get too busy.
I would love to have this discussion with you, Sam.
All right. Just text me later. You've got my phone number.
Text you later?
Text me later.
Yoav, you can keep this stream going if you like, but I gotta go.
All right. I'll check out for now, and you can let me know when you're ready, Jacob.
Later.
Sorry, Yoav.
Okay. So they all left me, all by myself. I will wait till somebody comes. Meanwhile, a bit of Hebrew. Nephilim. In modern Hebrew, it means the one that have fallen down. But Hebrew is multi-layered. And sometimes a word can mean one thing and the opposite. Once upon a time, it means those who were high. From there, I guess, it rolled on to mean those who were high and fallen down. But originally, Nephilim are those who were in high place. Okay. I'm taking a rest. If anybody pops in, let's say in 6 minutes, let them pop in. If not, I will close this stream. Will anybody of the people in the comments section join me? Well, the reason I'm not closing down this stream is because people are commenting. So I will let them comment. Mr. Ron Copperman asks, how's the vibe in Israel? Wisely enough, he is not trusting the news outlets. Well, it is each to his own. Some are happy and some are sad. Some are optimistic and some are pessimistic. Some are up and some are down. All you get from me is my narrow, idiosyncratic point of view. Israel is a fun place. Sun is shiny. Summer is a little bit late, so it is pleasantly warm, but not too hot. Everywhere is full of kids. There was a huge rock concert in my neighborhood yesterday, and we get good problems. Too many people, lack of parking place, traffic congestions. Too many people enjoying themselves too late at night. Tough times. We're going to have elections soon. Street signs are up and about. None of them make any sense. There is a Mr. Bennett. He wants to be a prime minister. Never given any reason or policy. His slogan is, Israel needs a prime minister. Bennett. Yep, Israel needs a prime minister, no doubt. This is why we have elections. My kids have been to the Shabbat dinner. Prior to that, we were in the playground, and the baby was cute. And cute doesn't even come close to describing cute. Food was good, although I say that myself. Yes. Even cute with 4 U's will begin to address the situation. The war in Ukraine is getting worse and worse every day, escalating. Usually it is out of the news, boring. It's been going on for 4 years, hasn't it? But it's not rolling on a plane. It's getting worse and worse every day. And what cannot go on will not go on. Andrew T. entered the studio. Wow, I have a guest. I thank you so much for rescuing me from this position.
Right.
I come on, pop on the screen to say something. I had one stupid comment, and then immediately people see my ugly face and they run away. And I'm left all by myself. I think,
First time.
okay, so I will close down the stream. But people have very interesting comments
Mm.
to each other.
Mm.
How's you?
Good. Almost the end of the week, so
You are an electrician, aren't you?
apprentice.
Apprentice. And they've stopped paying you, did they?
I mean,
They are paying you now.
yeah,
Okay.
I sure hope so. Alright.
You do not know. You know, we live in an age of uncertainty.
Mm.
Man doesn't know when his paycheck will come.
Mm.
I will not comment on that further.
Mm.
I went to a vocational school
Mhm.
until the age of 18. And I learned the profession.
Mhm.
Call it electricity. My parents always dreamed I will be a doctor, a medical doctor.
Mhm.
But studying medicine, you know, is a long and expensive process. And a man needs to have a profession while studying. So they sent me to a vocational school, so I'll have a profession while I studied medicine.
Mm.
Alas, I never got to studying medicine.
Mhm.
Just stayed with this lousy profession. They paid me too much.
Mm.
The world is missing one of the greatest doctors of the turn of the century, just because the world was paying me too much.
Mm.
What's your long term? Are you going to stay in the profession indefinitely
Yeah,
or
you know,
switch?
I think I'll just work till I die.
Yeah, good plan. That's an excellent plan.
Yeah.
Just hopefully you do not electrocute yourself again.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So what's post Paul? Why is this the post Paul stream?
Okay, I'm a guess, of course, you know. In the world when a man doesn't know when his paycheck will come, how will I know what is post-Paul? But I think that Paul van der Klee was broadcasting, and his broadcast just ended.
Mm.
And he was talking inter alia about some meeting they have down in Texas.
Mm.
And I guess that our schoolmaster intended to make some wise comments about that stream in particular and the TLC in general. Probably he was planning some really hard criticism, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then, did you hear the news?
No.
News is that our dear Autobro, Father Stephen DeYoung,
Mm-hmm.
just been interviewed by Tucker Carlson.
Really?
Yes. And there is no way that Yaakov is not going to drop everything and comment about that video. And then Sam joined us. And this is Jacob's dream come true. Commenting on such a stream with Sam is what Mr. Faturecci was born for.
Mm.
And then they left, both of them just left. Left me all by myself. Can you imagine? Sunrise says, I realized the only thing I could truly change was myself. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
So let us talk about electrical engineering.
Mm.
How fast do you think an electron travels in a wire?
Oh no, really, really fast.
Yeah, for sure. How fast?
No clue.
That's the right answer. Yes, there is an answer, of course. You open any physics book and you get an answer. It just doesn't make any sense. Turns out they travel extremely slow. think you could catch them running, which doesn't make any sense. Do you know why an electron is traveling so slow? Because they don't have purpose. They are getting distracted. They want to go one way, and then they bump into something, and then they go the other way, and then they go there again, and then they bump, and again, and again. And they can run very fast, but they don't make any progress. Does it remind you of certain people?
Yeah. Always on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What wise comments can you offer about electrical engineering?
Do another engineering. Wise comments can I make about electrical engineering?
Jon God says that what moves fast is the hole rather than the electron. As usual, I beg to differ. And since I don't really understand the issue to its full depth, who am I to argue? To Jon God, did you hear Father Stephen DeYoung says that the Greek in the Bible, both Old and New, is not real Greek. It's kind of in Greek Yiddish. It's the Greek that the Jews were speaking will be almost a book written in the Greek Yiddish of the people of the Holy Land will be hard to understand by a normal Greek, says the father. Which means that studying the Bible in Greek is the other way around. You have to know the Bible in order to read the Bible in Greek. Andrew, is this a fast day in your religion?
What? It's Friday today, huh? Yeah.
So you're not eating?
No, I'm eating.
Okay. Just imagine the technological advances that culminated in the two of us sitting here and staring at each other. It's science like magic. Just imagine two elderly wizards glancing at their crystal balls or two different corners of a magical land and have nothing to say to each other. Have you read such a book? I mean, if you're an old magician and you live to 534, what else can you say to each other that hasn't been said? You can complain about the weather. My son has participated this week in a chess tournament representing his place of work, and he won 5 games of 5, including 1 game against a grandmaster. Yes, he did.
That's quite an achievement.
Yes. And I'm the proud father. Reading wives or threading wives or trading wives?
So how'd you meet Jacob?
Never met Jacob.
Yeah, how'd you ponder in your crystal orb this Jacob Federecci character?
It's the usual pipeline. Jordan Peterson, Paul van der Klee, and then I find myself here. Of all places. Cannot remember the first time. I was lurking for years around Paul van der Klee. And you guys, you broadcast in strange hours, usually in the middle of the night. So, usually, in the middle of the night, I'm asleep. But also lurking around the Paul van der Klee channel. Sleeping and listening at the same time. And that was an interesting experience, because I have an experience with hanging out with Americans in professional conventions. And I had that experience of the cocktail party. The time, in between lectures, after lectures in a conference, and you hang out and people are talking mostly about the profession or any other subject that comes to mind. And I don't really connect because I'm this foreigner from a foreign land, and my English is so good, and I'm not very good at the etiquettes of getting in and out of a conversation. But I know you guys. I know you're very polite. If once in a blue moon it turns out that I have something to say, then I try to get a word in, and people will politely listen. So I'm sleeping and listening and listening and sleeping, and I'm dreaming that I'm in one of those cocktail parties, and I'm hanging around, and I'm listening to you guys, the TLC, talking to each other, which is fine. Can learn a lot. and sleep at the same time. That's an excellent way to spend one's time. Once in a blue moon, I have something to say. And I'm trying to get some word in. And those guys in the TLC just never listen. They just go on talking, completely ignoring me.
Mm.
And that was amazing to me, because I knew they wouldn't behave this way. Something was wrong. After a few years, I got the notion that maybe sleeping while listening is not the best way to express yourself. So here I am, expressing myself with nothing to say. Cool story, says Young God. Young God, this is your chance to shine. Nobody is here. Nobody will see you. You can put a mask on and a false beard and glasses and just come on. So much that I can ask you. Young God, I have a question for you. I'm missing a chapter in the history of the universe. How come you got a wrench in the office? Please answer that one. Just a sec, says Young God. Okay. It's 10 o'clock in the middle of the day, of the night, 10 p.m. on a Shabbat. I have nothing to do for the next 36 hours. I can wait. Tis Tripizi Sog asks, what did I miss? In this channel, you have missed nothing. You should go immediately to Tucker Carlson channel and listen to the interview with Father Stephen DeYoung. This is what you've missed. Don't be here because nothing is here. Looking forward to Claire's comment. I've been to discussions on the TLC when Claire emerged victorious.
Mm-hmm.
And that is saying a lot about Claire. Tucker Carlson. Tucker, the son of Carl. Tucker the Great, the son of Carl the Great.
Yeah. I usually join TLC live streams just to make funny faces and make funny comments.
Because I was watching and she liked my feedback, said Young God. Good. I like your comments. What is happening? Asks Sunrise. Well, that has been commented before. Suddenly, Orthodox priests appear in channels like Girls Gone Bible. And there is no way, it has been said on the TLC, there is no way that the Orthodox Church can handle a large incoming stream of Orthodox. Like Judaism, it is not built for fast expansion. So things will blow up, hopefully just in a funny way. I do not think the end of days is coming.
You're
I'm
wrong.
sure Jon God doesn't think the end of days is coming. But interesting times are always coming.
I firmly believe the end of days is coming. All the other stuff I'm not too sure about, but the end of days, that I'm very sure about.
Jon God, don't go back. Don't try to listen to me saying funny things, because this is the most boring broadcast on the internet ever. I'm just waiting for the stream of comments to shut up so I can close the stream. As long as you guys are commenting, I'm stuck here. Never gain the audio such power. Okay, as long as I'm here, I cannot listen to the interview on Tucker Carlson. So you guys have been keeping me for an hour from listening to the hottest thing on the internet. There is some noise coming from your place, Andrew, but never mind. I'm going to end this stream. Unless Andrew says something extremely clever and extremely interesting immediately.
Oh boy, no pressure.
No pressure. I gave you enough time to think. I gave Jon God enough time to appear. Nobody likes me.
You are the first boomer to have such knowledge
Of
of internet hygiene. Most of them, they go on and on and on.
Okay, the office is here, so I know I can. If I close the stream now, office will think that I'm closing the screen because it just appeared. So now I'm stuck. Office always says she wanted me to appear. I'll be happy for a conversation if I can think of any subject. Wouldn't you all love it to get on Tucker Carlson? I will not love it to go on Tucker Carlson. I will never go on Tucker Carlson. It will be a very short conversation, me going on Tucker Carlson. It will be like, oh yeah, well, I'm not here to dispute you. End of conversation. He begged and begged and promised he wouldn't misuse it. Has he abused it? No, office. It is me asking, Jon God, how come he got a wrench in the office? Because prior to that, he was just a bum, just a troll. And as far as I know, his wrench in the office was his moment of upgrade to a respectable citizen of what is this? And I thought it was an interesting moment, the moment that Jon God got a wrench. He got promoted to an adult in the room. And how can anybody possibly misuse Jon God has a reputation to keep. So, office, if you haven't heard, the subject of the discussion is that Father Stephen DeYoung has been interested in Carlson, and that I'm eager to watch that stream, but I've been handed this post, and I'm just waiting for it to get hopeless enough for me to turn it off. But it hasn't just yet got hopeless enough.
Okay, well, what can you do?
What I'm actually doing is I've given up on you guys, so I'm
You've given
listening.
up on me?
Yes, so I'm actually staring at you while listening to that interview. And as far as I went, they're talking about the flood. I'm agreeing that the flood did exist and ancient civilization was destroyed by the flood.
Oh God.
Which I think we should accept as an historical truth. Us technologists should ask ourselves, what technologies were lost in the flood? That's the interesting question. And it's not important if the people, pre-Diluvian people, were sinful or not. The important question is, what technologies did they hold that we do not? Because that is your chance to earn your millions. If you read the Bible well enough and manage to reconstitute the old technology that was lost, that's your startup. All I got is the technology that the Egyptians had of drilling into stone. Or erecting giant structures out of stone. I don't think it's economically viable nowadays, even if I had the technology. It is more green because you don't have to use fossil fuels to make plastic. Stones are greener than plastic. Who's Corax? Hi, Corax, who are you? Mr. or Mrs. Corax are invited to introduce themselves. Oh, what a disaster of a stream. Finally, I get a Corax.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go.
Hey.
Hello.
We talking about some old technology,
Yes.
like Atlantis,
Yeah.
flying pyramids.
Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
It's Corax.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I'm not a social guy. I'm an engineer. I don't remember names.
I've been on Jacob streams a couple of times. Mostly
Mostly
the Iran streams.
Okay. Are you also an engineer?
Yeah, by education maybe. But yeah, it's a little complicated. But yeah, I do have some interests in technology and the history of technology.
Okay.
Old computers, retro computers. That's interesting.
Oh, I have interesting stories about the first computers I have used. When have you used your first computer?
Oh, probably my dad's. I don't remember. I don't really remember what kind it was, but it was kind of a primitive, command line I mostly remember just playing like a command line game, like a paratroopers game or something, like like down the helicopter. So something like that. I wish I
Yeah.
remember.
In PVK spirit, my first question to you is always, tell me about the first computers in the house you grew up in.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of my relationship with computers is kind of it's been a long and winding road, to put it mildly. So for the first probably 30 years of my life, I was completely computer illiterate, I would say. And just not knowing the difference between an operating system and, you know, like Microsoft, do they make computers as well? And, you know, so I wasn't really cognizant when just playing on my dad's old computer. But I've been getting into it a little more this last few years, learning about, you know, Linux and trying to interact with the operating system in a little more educated way.
I like the expression trying to interact with the open system. That is an expression that I would have used. What did you want to say?
I just heard you like talking about you know, the flood and what kind of technologies they probably used, and I'm a really big fan of these kind of speculations. So I just had to. Do you like, yeah, for example, do you think they had some sort of mechanical computers back in the day?
Well, the Greek had one for sure for astronomical purposes.
Yeah, the Antikythera or something.
Yeah. I think this is thinking the wrong on the wrong path. 1 second. I do not want to ask the question, how did they think and behave like us? Because we have a lot of us to ask. I'm asking the question, what have they been doing that we would be extremely surprising to us, that we will never think that such a thing could possibly exist? I want them to surprise me. So I don't want them to build mechanical computers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably a good way to frame it, because like when I look at the actual mechanical computers they used in the 1800s, it looks a little bit complicated and probably wasteful. It's probably better just to drop it and leave the calculations up to humans, I guess.
So, can you help me in trying to guess what would the pre-Diluvian, before the flight technology would be, such that I would never dream that such a thing is even possible?
I don't know. Maybe they had a more advanced language, like spoken language, that like sort of a universal grammar. I think Chomsky called it. That were able to convey much more meaning than we have today. I don't know.
Yeah. Of course, like any other subject, this is not my subject, and I do not know anything about it. But there is a general rule about languages. Either they are small or meaningful, or large and general. If a language is used by a lot of people, like English, that it will tend to get into a lowest common denominator and not be very meaningful. You'll have to use many words to express an idea, because teaching the subtle meanings to a large audience is difficult. But if a language is of one small tribe, then it can get very specialized, very meaningful, and hard to understand by foreigners. So in as much as the pre-flood population was smaller than today's, then yes, they had a better language.
Yeah, before the tower fell and or what was how was that story again? Like they had one language in the Tower of Babel days, right? And then after the tower fell, then the languages got the tongues got multiplied.
Yeah, this is, I think, happened automatically, necessarily, because when you embark on such a project as the Power of Babel, you have to specialize into professions. Different people will have to learn to do different tasks. And then their language will specialize in being useful and meaningful for the task they were each performing. And if the tower is long enough, the common language will be forgotten.
Yeah. So the different the bricklayers have a different language than the architects and the cooking personnel that has to feed the builders.
Yeah. And the sheepherds.
Yeah.
So the way that God is conducting the world, that is automatically, usually, clockwork mechanism, doesn't need to bother himself in intervening at every junction. It sets things this way that they will happen by themselves without intervention. Usually.
Yeah. It feels like the machine is running by itself sometimes, and you just have to stay out of the gears and not get caught up in the gears like Charlie Chaplin in that movie.
Yep. And if I follow this logic, the flood was a physical necessity. It just had to happen. Because prior to that, you had the Ice Age. And only when the Ice Age subsided did human civilization could flourish, invent agriculture, and inhabit the floodplains. And inhabiting the floodplains in time when the glaciers are melting is necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah, better go south. Yeah. Or build a big boat.
Or a big tower.
Yeah.
Or a big computer network. That will save you.
Yeah. The computer network. Also, the biggest computer network is the internet. With all the new devices getting connected to it as well, the Internet of Things.
Yeah. Just as a point of curiosity, no pressure. Why aren't you showing your face? Are you half asleep as I am?
I'm kind of a private person, I guess, and I guess I could show my face, but
No pressure.
but I use kind of a crappy laptop, like an old ThinkPad, and
No pressure at all.
yeah. But it's a couple of reasons. I usually enjoy anonymity, and and I like to use symbolism in these spaces. So, and the raven is a nice symbol. The raven. It was the first bird that found Noah, right?
Yeah, but why the raven? It's not
It's
because of Noah.
why I chose it? It's my name, or one of my names.
Okay.
Not Corax, but the Norwegian version.
Okay. So you're the Norwegian guy.
Yep.
So you should have said that, because then it will do the. I'm very bad at names, and now I know who you are. Okay, you're the Norwegian guy.
Yep.
Do you happen to know what is the country of origin of ravens?
Country of origin of ravens. I should probably know this. I mean, they're a kind of a common bird in mythologies all over the world.
Yes.
Odin and his two ravens.
Yeah, I know, but back. I mean, talking about pre-Diluvian times. What was the first country which had the honor to entertain the ravens?
Well, if we're going way back, I'm guessing it's civilization started in the Near Eastern countries. So I'm guessing.
Yeah, but did ravens also emerge there?
I don't know.
Claire, we are involving yourself in the
Hello.
fascinating question in what is the country of origin of ravens?
What is a country of what, sorry?
Origin of ravens, crows and such.
Original raisins.
No, the original country of origin of ravens.
Of ravens. Ravens? Birds.
And crows.
There's
Yes.
blackbirds.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I can look it up. I don't really know. But there are a few in the Tower of London.
Yeah.
And
Of course, they are everywhere nowadays.
let me see.
But where
Okay.
did they start?
I don't know. Apparently, they all come from Africa. Okay, it says on Wikipedia they're highly intelligent birds and they're spread across the northern hemisphere. So, Europe, but they're actually you can find them in Africa and Australia and America and Mexico and Arabian Peninsula. Yes, and Tasmania. So they're everywhere.
Yes, which makes my question fascinating. Such a global bird, it must have originated somewhere.
Well, I mean, some people say all human life came from Africa, and then I'm thinking of the first man and woman, but that's supposed to be somewhere in what, Mesopotamia, in theory, Adam and Eve.
Okay, so
So
human beings
they're conflicting.
originated, let's say, in Africa, let's say in Minnesota, whatever. Yeah, that's about human beings. But who cares about human beings? I'm interested in ravens. Okay, never
Well,
mind.
I suppose we can't really ask them because I guess they have no records. It's like, we don't know. You know, we haven't got historical records for that sort of thing. And it's annoying. I mean, I guess if you ask, the Inuit, they would not be able to tell us about all kinds of things. So maybe we're not so smart after all. But obviously writing things down kind of helps.
Yeah, of course the ravens will not know. But we are Homo sapiens. We are supposed to keep records of such things.
But it's
Okay.
interesting that they go all the way to Australia. But then I guess they could have gone in British ships when they went adventuring and colonizing.
Could have, but they're birds. They don't really have to go by ship.
Yeah, I mean, some of them fly really enormous.
Most of them fly, yeah.
I mean, fly across sea.
Yes,
don't
they
know.
could have. So perhaps they originated in Australia and came all the way here.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I don't understand why Father Stephen DeYoung is talking about Nephilim, or why Tucker even cares. Did you
Well-
mention that earlier?
Yes, the right way to go around it is first to listen to that very interesting podcast and then has this conversation. But
Well, I did actually go away for a bit. I listened to it and I thought, this is really boring. I'd rather come and talk to Yoav and ask him why an Orthodox priest is talking about Nephilim. Because it's a Jewish thing, isn't it? I know that Moses sent out the spies to see if it was okay to enter the promised land, and the spies said, "Oh, don't go there. The giants, there be giants."
Yep. So what I think, and I don't think my position is very far from that of Father DeYoung, is that he doesn't really talk about height. It just like the expression, people at high places, people of high rank, people of high tiers, high society.
Oh, really? So then there wasn't even any reason not to enter into the promised land, because, well, in any society there will be, people of high rank and low rank. So it doesn't sound so, weird and wonderful or scary.
Yeah, but we know for a fact that that was the situation. There was no reason not to enter the country. As a matter of fact, they did enter the country, and did that region around the city of Hebron was conquered quite easily. So really there was no reason. It's just, propaganda. Bad propaganda.
Jewish propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. So what I've been saying, that there was a confusion in the development of the language between being at a high place and then falling out of a high place. Nowadays in Hebrew, when you talk about that root, you talk basically about falling from a high place. But in earlier layers of the language, it just means being at a high place.
Mm-hmm.
For example, when you're in an ancient city, usually you would have the temple or the king house at the highest place, located geographically the highest place. And the place would be called the Ophel, which is very related to the word Nafil, same root.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be literally the people living in the high house.
Oh, yes. Yes, not necessarily giants.
No. Anyway, but more important, not necessarily people, things that have fallen down. That's the more important thing. They haven't necessarily fallen down. They're just originating at a high place.
Yes.
So what's happened, what I've noticed in the TLC or Christianity in general, there has been a minor storm in a teacup concerning the Autobros. And the story is told, I haven't followed it because it's not important, but the story goes that there was a debate between a Christian and a Muslim. And the Christian is rumored to have won. But then the Autobros, the Orthodox, have attacked the winning Christians of not representing Christianity well enough because of not highlighting the importance of the church and its continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And there comes attacks from the Protestants again, the Orthodox, because of them, as they say, shooting at each other instead of shooting at the Muslims. That, I think, is the sort of background of that discussion. But I think just Tucker Carlson was interested in conspiracy theories and pre-flood civilization and such.
Yes. Well, I suppose he is interested in Israel as a topic, and he's gotten into trouble over it. And I suppose myths are important, and the reason why the Holy Land is so fought over is, I guess, it's like Jews, you want to go and live there, and Christians, they want to run it, and Muslims also want to run it. And not that long ago, the Muslims were running it. And
Running,
so I
running what?
suppose
Sorry, I
if you're
missed it. Running what?
running administering Israel. So if Jews are not living on, in Israel on their own account, then, I guess Christians and Muslims would be saying, we run the place because, we're the chosen ones now, because I've noticed over the centuries that they keep, trying to take that status away from you.
Okay, first of all, the country was run by the Ottoman Empire from Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a matter of Christians or Muslims, it's just a matter of the Ottoman Empire. And
Yes,
the Ottoman
yes, the proximity.
Empire crumbled under its own weight, nothing to do with the Jews. So there was a vacuum, and Western power tried to fulfill that vacuum in the Holy Land, and the Jews got in their way. Okay, Jon God asked about Nephilim. If there was megafauna during the Ice Age, why wouldn't there be giant monkeys? And the answer, yes, there was a giant monkey. It was Gigantopithecus, of course. But he was not in the Holy Land. He was in Asia, southern East Asia. And he died before the time of the Bible.
Yes, you have giant flowers too. Some of them can get quite big.
Yeah, giant flowers are so much nicer than giant people.
Giants.
Yes. I wouldn't mind getting into a country which has giant flowers in it.
Yes. Giant fruit trees.
Yeah, actually we had giant fruit trees.
Mm-hmm.
Still do. Quite some of them left. Not too many.
Yes. Well, there is this place in Israel called Lot's wife, right?
Yes. Yes.
And it's very tall, much taller than a mere woman.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do either with Lot or with his wife.
I know. It's just a good name to make people come and have a look at it.
Yeah, and because it's made of sort of crumbly soil or salt, and it crumbles every now and then, and you have to rename another feature in the same region, Lot's wife. The name remains, the feature changes.
Right. So bits of it fall off from time to time of that.
Yeah.
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 And it's made of what?
Most things thereabout are made of salt.
It is actually made of salt. Lots.
Salt and dirt. It's the stuff that you find at the bottom of a Dead Sea. Like if somebody drained the sea, sort of soil that you find there. It has salts and mud and pebbles.
Mm-hmm. How are things in Israel?
And Dead Sea is dying. It's almost half of it has basically disappeared. If you look at an old
does
map,
it go?
It evaporates.
Oh, it just evaporates. Could
Yes.
you fill it up with seawater?
That is an interesting project. There is only 40 meters of altitude from the Dead Sea to the Red Sea. So if you take a pipe, you have to go up 40 meters and then down again, and you fill it. So just a matter of building a pipe
Right.
big enough. Problem is that the pipe will be laid in the lowest point. And this is exactly the border between Israel and Jordan. So you have to have Israel and Jordan agreeing on that project.
Is that unlikely?
Politics. The other option is making a tunnel from the Mediterranean to the Dead Sea, which will pass through the city of Gaza. Which is also a politically charged project.
Right. The Dead Sea is dying.
Yeah, the Dead Sea dying. What we are doing is both us on one end and the Jordanian on the other end are intentionally drying it up to harvest the salt and the phosphates.
Right.
You can sell that stuff that you harvest from the bottom of the sea for quite a lot of money.
I see. What is it used for?
No, fertilizers.
Okay. But after you use it, you could fill it up again.
Theoretically, yes. Politically problematic.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you sort of push the environmentalist angle, it's like, we must have peace because we must save the Dead Sea from dying. And people will say, what are you talking about? It's Jewish propaganda again.
Yeah, but if you look at any satellite image, you will see the Dead Sea is in fact dying. And I've been there many times. There are quite a number of nice hotels on the shores of the Dead Sea. And you can actually see it in your own eyes. And you have new grounds to build new hotels because where there was a sea there was no more. So you can build another. Yes, and you can build
Is there some prophecies that speak of this, of the Dead Sea dying?
No. But what is interesting, we are now reading, as you know, on Thursdays, the end of the Book of Kings. And it has a lot of stuff that nobody bothers to read about politics of the region just before the invasion of the Assyrians. And it was very much contested between Judea and Israel and Edom and Aram. It was quite a contested region. It means that it had some economical value. Mainly the Jordanian side. Going deep into Jordan all the way to Petra.
Yeah, I guess people have been fighting over those lands for quite a long time.
Yeah, but you're fighting over those lands. I mean, nowadays it's mostly a desert and quite an uninhabited desert most of it, which makes you think that things were different then. Things were less dry then, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably way before that, but the Sahara, the desert there, that used to be flooded, right?
Yeah, that was much before. But climate change, changes all the time. This is what climate changes do.
Nothing to get too alarmed about.
No.
But they want to frighten us.
Another thing is that that rift valley keeps rifting. It has not stopped rifting, and it's rifting all the time quite fast.
Is it one in Israel or in Africa?
It goes all the way from Syria to Uganda.
Yeah. Okay. So it's across continents.
Yes, it is the major geographical feature of the all half continent, and it's rifting like crazy. I mean, in my lifetime, I could see the cracks widening.
But do you think there's going to be some new continents coming up?
No, Jordan is rifting apart from Israel.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is that discussed in the scientific circles in Israel? Like
but
there's going to be
nothing much to say about it. Just drifting. Doesn't ask your opinion about it. I mean, whatever. Whether you write an article about it or not, it will just keep drifting. Yeah, I mean, whoever is in the profession surely discusses it. There is a huge argument in the comment section. I opened a can of worms asking Jon God how he earned his rank in the office. And as I could guess, there is a disagreement about the events leading to that. Well, never mind.
I'll mob you next time you're there. I can't remember now, but I do remember Jon God being quite, insistent about it. So because I'm an obliging sort of woman, I said, okay.
Who are the certain people that Jon God would ranch? I just cannot imagine Jon God ranching anybody. He's such a gentle, kind person.
Well, I think some people make it a point. Like, I want to be a mod. I've joined this stream. and it's a status thing, isn't it? Like, I'm the mod. You better listen to me, or I'll time you out. So he's got all the. Well, we could even play it because
okay, Jon God, I have a question for you. Did you ever in your life ranch anybody?
He wants us to play it now.
No, okay. I'm not going to play anything. I mean, anybody can play whatever they want to play. I'm just the babysitter. Okay.
I think I did see him appear in one stream once a long time ago.
Jacob Faturecci is a man of great persuading powers. and he's such a cuddly bear kind of person. You can hardly say no to him.
Yes, he can be quite insistent. Anyway, he was very excited, wasn't he, when he saw Father DeYoung?
Yes, that's exactly that's the hilarious point. I mean, it's the one and only point of interest in this all.
And I'm going to get 50 more subscribers just because,
Yes.
Father Stephen appeared on Tucker.
And then Sam comes and he said, "Oh, wonderful. I so much wanted to talk with Sam, especially about this subject. Okay, let's talk about it. Bye."
Oh, so you did want to talk about it with Sam and he ran away.
They were just starting the most interesting conversation in the history of the TLC, and then they just ran away. The subject was too embarrassing for them.
What was the subject? Sorry, I'm a bit lost now.
Yes, of Father DeYoung on Tucker Carlson.
But what's so embarrassing about Father?
I know. I'm
because
joking.
they were so excited about it. Okay.
No, I know. I'm joking. Something happened. Something unforeseen has happened.
Uh-huh.
I guess he got a phone call or whatever.
Yes. Yes, I think PVK will be excited about it because, he is a YouTuber and a professional one to boot.
Yes, but PVK has already commented about the Orthodox movement and at these times and how it is incompatible to be so much in the limelight with the way of the Orthodox movement.
Well, it seems a bit odd that there should be so much interest in it when, it's not even their tradition, is it? They just want something older, and that's it.
That's the point. It's what is your message? Is your message you're the most ancient and therefore the most true movement? Or is your message that you're up with the times and adjusting yourself to the modern world?
Mm-hmm.
That is the root of the problem. And it was exemplified by some priest appearing in a podcast called Girls Gone Bible.
Oh, man.
Yes.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, so Girls Gone Bible is a couple of girls, no doubt straight-laced, devout Christians. I do not know them anyway. I'm just assuming that the most well-meaning devout Christians ever, but they are one as a pair, the most beautiful pair of young girls on the internet. And when an Orthodox priest appears on the channel to talk about the Bible, by the visuals of it, there is some kind of performative clash. That's the point that Paul van der Klee, one of the points that Paul van der Klee was making.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm sure there's some clash there. I'm almost afraid to Google that term, so I'm not going to do it.
No, it's perfectly safe. They're perfectly well-meaning, straight-laced.
There could be other hits also, I guess. No,
I've tried it. It went well for me. But anyway, you don't have to go there. I don't think they have any special message you won't find anywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like ortho-broism is kind of getting into the mainstream a little bit. And some of the more speculative aspects of the, Nephilim, it's kind of it's kind of Indiana Jonesy, kind of adventurous.
Yeah.
They're. Sorry.
I was going to ask you, Corax, if you're religious.
Yeah, I'm Christianish,
Christianish.
I'm still fascinated by the image of the raven. What do you find sort of... Why do you equate yourself with the raven?
I don't really know. I mean, I guess it's kind of started because it's a family name, and it kind of started from there, looking into the mythology of it, and how it's everyone. It's kind of a eminent bird in different mythologies, and
I have a son who was somewhat into ravens, and when he was a boy, he was in the habit of collecting their feathers. So when he left the house, he left me with a collection of raven feathers, which he said is a good remedy against pigeons. If you put some of them in your windows, the pigeons will not come.
Oh, cool. An antidote. What about seagulls? Those are the worst kind of birds.
Okay. In my neighborhood, there are lots of flat roofs. We don't have sloped roof as in Europe. The roofs in Israel tend to be flat. So there's a lot of place for the birds to nest on the roof. And we have acquired. Sorry to have bored you, the office. Sorry that you had to go. And we acquired a colony of seagulls. And in season, they come and they nest on our roofs. And in the trees between the house, we have the ravens nesting. And both of them are communal, they form societies. And there is a constant war between the ravens and the seagulls in the season. It's a war. It's an organized war. It's not a bird against bird. It's a community against community. And the acrobatics of it, something to behold.
Yeah, I've noticed these kinds of aerial conflicts around here as well. Mostly seagulls chasing ravens, actually, or not ravens, but crows, I guess.
Yeah, but here they're not actually the same seagulls that you find in the North Sea. They are much smaller birds, the seagulls. So are the crows. They are smaller than the European variety, but they are matched.
Okay, yeah, but but you said ravens at first, and they're generally much bigger than the regular crows, right?
Yeah, but I mean, what we have anyway is our original variety.
Yeah, corvids.
Whatever, yeah. And I didn't ask the question of the origin of corvids in vain. I have a deep meaning in the posing the question, but I will leave it until such a day in which the question will be answered.
Well, was it a rhetorical question? Do you know the answer?
I think I know the answer, but I not telling.
Is it Israel?
No.
Yeah, I mean, I try to look it up in Wikipedia. It just says the old world, and then it crossed into America via the Strait, the same as the Indians crossed over. So I don't know. The Indians
Okay.
before they were Indians.
Old world, yes, in the sense that they did not originate in America yet. That I would agree to that. But once you locate them in Asia, Asia is big. It still opens the question.
Yeah, I think it even said Eurasia, so that adds a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
I mean, since we're talking a little bit about Noah and how did the Noah send out the raven, or did scouting for land?
Yeah, and then the dove.
Yeah, so that means the raven was on the ark, right?
Yes.
But
Everybody were on the ark, of course.
yeah, but I guess some of the speculation about where the ark stranded, that's thinking you're heading that way, right? And that's the Mount Ararat, somewhere in
Yes,
Armenia?
it is Mount Ararat.
Yeah.
You know, the raven is classified as a songbird.
Yeah, I could believe that. I mean, it's some of the sounds they make aren't very pretty, but they can make a lot of different sounds. They can even imitate human speech.
Yeah, I think they are the largest of the songbirds.
Yeah.
Meaning they are not ducks. Yeah, when it says songbird, I mean it's not a duck and it's not an eagle.
Yeah, that's probably why it has a place in different mythologies, that it can emulate speech and I think it's called the language of the birds. I've looked at that. Like, it's some kind of. Some people have equated the language of the birds with a divine language, or.
Well, we have in my country birds that can speak much better than ravens. We have quite, I think they're sort of relatives that are much smaller, sort of distant relatives, but much smaller. And they can really imitate any sound. They can imitate the sound of any bird. And they really speak. I mean, different times they use different songs, different noises depending on the situation. And they're frighteningly clever. I'll tell you a story. I have a ventilator an internal bathroom in my house, and it has a ventilation shaft to the outside. So there was an opening to the outside. And the birds were building nests inside the ventilation shaft. And it came to that they blocked the ventilation shaft and the room was not ventilated anymore. And it was ventilated with a fan. There was a fan driving the air outside. but it couldn't drive the air outside because the shaft was blocked. So I wanted to chase them out of the ventilation shaft. So I put some smoke, and the fan will drive the smoke into the shaft. And I was calculating that the smoke will drive them out. Guess what they've done? They started to collect small pebbles, and they pushed the pebbles all the way down the ventilation shaft until they got to the fan. Until such a situation when the pebbles got stuck between the wings of the propeller, and the propeller could rotate no more.
Yeah.
And then I just had to use brute force, and I just dismantled the old thing and cleaned it up, and just drove them out by sheer brute force. If it was a battle of wits only, I would have lost.
Yeah, they were able to figure out a lot of things out, I think. It's not bad for being the descendant of the dumb dinosaurs, right?
Yeah, which makes me wonder how dumb the dinosaurs were. But those birds are clever.
Yeah, I think like the T-Rex, that was supposedly very dumb, or it had a small, like a brain cavity for its size, apparently. But maybe the smaller ones were much smarter.
Yeah, but birds have a small brain. Doesn't stop them.
But not for their size.
Yeah, but why does it matter? I mean, you have to have the calculation capacity. If you're a small creature and you have a small brain, even if it's bigger for your size, how many neurons can you cram in there? Some point, size should have mattered.
The neuron is the amount of neurons the determinant of problem solving. I don't know. I'm not a neuroscientist. I don't know.
There is a lot of evidence to show that it isn't. Tell you an example. Do you know jumping spiders?
No.
Jumping spider is a tiny spider. I mean, really tiny, and they don't make nets. What they do, they jump on their prey. They're just a spider, but a small one, a really small one. And, spider had 8 eyes. And one pair of their 8 eyes is telescopic. So even though they are very small, they can spot a fly from across a room. So a jumping spider will stand on one wall, and there will be a fly sitting on the opposite wall in a room. And the spider will be able to see it. And then the spider can plan a path, because he doesn't have a net. So he has to walk from one end of the room to another end of the room, and he has to plan his way. And most of the time when he's getting to his prey, he cannot see it. I mean, he has to remember that the prey was there, and remember the map, and plan his way around till he gets next to the prey, and then he jumps on it. And it's a tiny spider.
Yeah. Yeah, I can believe that. And that the some of the insects are quite complex in their.
Yeah, but how can you be complex with such a tiny brain? It means that we just don't understand brains at all.
Yeah. I kind of don't understand a lot of neuroscience, but I know they did a lot of kind of crazy experiments on brains in the 60s, like the MK Ultra stuff, and some of that stuff went on in my country as well, with some kind of unethical experiments on lobotomized people.
In
Putting-
Norway?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like putting electronics in their brains and stuff.
Last place I would expect this to happen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of mythology going around about Norway and how benevolent we treat some of our weaker or more exposed populations. And like apparently, so this Norwegian scientist, I actually have a documentary about it on my YouTube channel if you want to watch. It's in Norwegian, but it has English subtitles. So apparently this guy got funding from like American institutions and stuff like that. Like I think the Ford Foundation and maybe a couple of others. Because Americans were big into figuring what the brain, like how to control different aspects of it for various reasons, like cybernetic reasons, I guess. And and that was not very long ago. I mean, the 60s is just 60 years ago, I guess. And it seems like we haven't made very much progress in figuring out, like, why do we dream, and like what is intelligence, and how are some people able to solve problems better than others, and like why do people get dementias and stuff like that. Still a lot of unanswered questions, it seems like.
I've been to Norway once or twice.
Yeah.
Very short visits.
Business or pleasure?
Yeah, for me, business is pleasure. I've been to Oslo. I've been to the Norwegian National Technology Institute in Jorvik.
Okay. Yeah, they're part of the big university now. But was that before the merger, or?
I guess after.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think Gjøvik is probably it seems like a good school over there. A lot of good computer science education.
It's now the best in the world in my profession, with the exception maybe of China.
Oh, you're talking about Gjøvik specifically, or?
The school for color science.
Color science?
That's what I do.
Well, like RGB? Red?
Yeah. The school for RGB, yeah.
I'm trying to... Is that the proper name for it? Color science?
Yep.
The science of colors?
Yeah.
Science. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's probably a pretty multidisciplinary field, right?
The most multidisciplinary field. This is why I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know there was some kind of that they just had a feel. I thought it was just like like quantum physics and maybe some and like I guess make different instruments to observe it. But I see it has its own Wikipedia page, a very short one, albeit. But so have you read any Goethe? I think he was like the old Enlightenment philosopher. He was into the study of colors.
Yeah.
And also, I guess Steiner was interested in that. And to loop it back to Norway, a guy called what was his name? He wrote some novels. Yeah, a guy called André Bjerke.
I don't know those people.
Yeah, he was kind of a Steiner student, and Anthroposophy, and yeah, like the Steiner, what he was into basically, and he was also into looking into colors and like doing experiments with the prisms and stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably and I would guess like psychology and stuff like that would figure pretty prominently in how humans perceive different colors, why red is like an emergency color. And
yeah, exactly. This is the place where psychology and physics meet. This is why I like the subject.
Okay. So what are some prominent what are some of the prominent people in Norway that you met with discussing these matters?
Well, everybody. I don't want to name names because everybody in the Institute is a leader in his field. So just have the best of the world there, studying there.
Okay, what about applications?
Applications. Well, there used to be a lot of applications at the beginning because all those television screens, mobile phone screens, cameras, that was quite a challenge to fix a color in them. But that is, I think, mostly completed subject. What is left is the more challenging bit, the psychology bit. Like, if I want to launch a new product, what color should it be to send a certain message to a certain audience?
Yeah. And that's where it goes into public relations and mass mind.
Yeah, it goes everywhere. Also, the subject of texture is not well understood at all. Color, as a flat color, when it's constant, when everything is painted with the same color, that is very well understood nowadays. But how the brain processes texture of color, there is no closed form mathematical way to express it. Hello, anybody out there? Okay. So this was my conversation about color with the Black Raven.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. I got muted even though I didn't mute use the mute button.
Happens. We press space on something. Things happen.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So textures. I was.
Yeah.
So, like how a color feels, or
No, like in a rug, when you have different colors woven together, how to mathematically express the reaction of the viewer to a complicated texture of color that is not very well understood.
Okay. So if you're selling like a carpet or something,
Yeah.
like how to decide the most compelling color layout for that carpet.
Yeah, because if I have a constant color, let's say red, then I can specify the color with 3 numbers, RGB. And then I can translate this to the human experience of the color, also by a set of 3 numbers. Listening to you say texture is not understood. Yes. But if I have a collection of colors together, like in a Mondrian painting, I can describe each and every pixel on itself, but I cannot describe the experience of watching a painting using numbers.
Yeah. I mean, that's where we kind of get into the artsy-fartsy stuff, right?
Yeah, this is why it's an interesting subject, because you start with simple physics and you end up with the artsy-fartsy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The art rabbit hole is it's an interesting that's kind of like if you to go back to the 1960s brain research and how they were trying to figure out how stuff work in order to influence people. I think they would be much more successful if they were studying art a bit more and how art can move people. If you read a little bit about Hitler, I think he was into like Wagner and stuff like that, and that's
lots of people were into Wagner.
Yeah, but I think Hitler probably made the decisions based on being swayed by that music.
Interesting fact. My wife's father, I've seen Hitler face to face.
Oh, really?
Yep. And survived to tell the tale.
Like in a camp?
Hitler will not go into a camp. In a parade.
Oh. In Germany, I guess.
Of course.
And when was this? In the start, or?
Yeah. Around 36, I guess. I don't really recall the exact date.
Yeah. Before the whole thing went down, like when he was on the cover of Time magazine and stuff like that.
Yeah, when things have just started going down and haven't yet gone down in a crash.
Yeah.
Things go down slowly at first.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a good saying about that. Slowly. What is the saying?
And then all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it feels like we're kind of heading in those directions again, like with all the Russia stuff, and how, now this time it's time to get Russia, and I don't think people have kind of read enough history.
You cannot read my smiling face how worried I am.
Huh?
You cannot read it on my smiling face how worried I am.
Yeah, you hide it well. I've been kind of worried for a long time as well. So apparently, and this fact kind of got me into a tussle. I read that Norway has put a lot of money into building like a training camp in Poland. And we have had kind of a reputation of being like peaceniks and stuff like that, like the Oslo Accords and kind of making peace between the nations. But when I looked at the interviews with some of the soldiers, the Norwegian soldiers based at that camp, they were talking about offing Russians, and they were talking very, very combatively.
Yep. As long as they talk, that's fine. Talking is fine.
But also building. That's the thing.
Even building is fine as far as I'm concerned, because you have to be ready.
But building in Poland, not in Norway. Building in Poland.
Yes, exactly.
And Poland, that was the big thing. That
if you play with fire, you get burnt.
Yeah.
But humanity never learns, no matter how many times. Just humanity is incapable of learning. Something in the system dynamics.
Yeah, like the one thing we learn from history is that we never learn from history.
Yes, exactly. This is what the one thing that I learned from the Bible is that the Israelites have never read the Bible.
Yeah, that's one of the big lessons of the Old Testament is like Israel keeps falling as well.
It just
keeps messing up.
Yep. And I think it's a universal trait characteristic of lots of other nations didn't learn as well. The Assyrians didn't learn, and the Babylonians didn't learn, and the Romans didn't learn. Nobody ever learns.
Yeah, and it seems like the Germans did not really learn. I mean, I think they.
Which is which is the funniest thing in the world, because they were never more devout, exact, scientific students of the Bible as the Germans.
Yeah, like the higher criticism stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they really knew the Bible, every letter of it.
But don't you think the higher criticism stuff kind of went into materialism? And
Yeah, people go into materialism. This one, something that people do.
yeah, and I think maybe. Yeah, I'm not really studied on the subject, but like it seemed from people studying Hegel and stuff like that they could make history into a science, or maybe that's Marx. I don't know.
One follows from the other. The aspiration of turning history into science is something that I can understand. I wish all this wishy-washy stuff like psychology and history and color science could be made into a science. Tough. But the aspiration is in place.
Yeah. But like when you start to just mix things together, like a popular saying nowadays is, the science says this and the science says that, but
Exactly.
It's not like they don't really mention how there are very many subfields in that area, and some are more like when I think of one of the more rock solid sciences is the study of metals, right? Because that's what really lays the foundation of everything, like studying different metals and how they can be manipulated, and that's like the oldest science. That's like the 10,000 or like 8,000-year-old science.
It's old and it's also new. There were advances made in metallurgy even in the last generation.
Yeah, like to the electricity and stuff like that. But they were able to do that with like a solid foundation, right? With hundreds of years of metalworking and metal smithing, and people just melting metals, doing different stuff, like smashing it with hammers. Just a lot of time went into those kinds of experiments and studies,
because there was money in it.
Yeah, and I think also curiosity, like at least in the start, like when people looked at copper, for example, and how copper can have different colors. Like it's like when you burn copper dust, it turns green or blue or something.
I think in this field, it was always more the money than the curiosity, because there's always lots of money to be made in understanding metals.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's where thing really started to go downhill, when metals were stopped being used as much for tools, but were melted into money, like
There's
a
a
currency.
tale that is told about the time when the Hebrews were in Egypt. There were copper mines in Egypt, and the Hebrew slaves were working in the copper mines. But the engineers, the experts, were Midianites, coming from where now is Saudi Arabia. So the Egyptians will bring down those experts. And since they were important people, they were professionals, they were allowed to keep their own ways and their own culture and pray to their own gods. And the story is that the Midianites in the copper mine are the one that introduced the god, the four-letter god, to the Israelis.
Oh, really?
Story. I wasn't there, cannot vouch for its correctness.
Is that in the Bible or in the Talmud?
No, in archaeology. You can you excavate the mines, and you can find traces to the existence of the Midianites and to their culture, and to their gods.
Okay, interesting.
Always.
Midianites.
The Bible mentioned it. It says that Moses came to the Yitro, the priest of the Midianites, and he brought them with him. And when they exited Egypt, he brought Yitro with him as a high priest.
Okay, so that's another research topic to add for Bible studies. Maybe not look so much into Nephilim, but more into Midianite stuff.
My position is the Bible is also always telling you the truth. It just, as you go deeper in time, it is harder to discern the physical story from the symbolic story. But the story is truth also.
Yeah, I think another interesting subject is like the descendants of Noah and where they ended up, right? Because that's the this was a common belief in academic circles until not long ago, that European peoples were descendants of Japhet, and the Semitic peoples of Shem, and I guess various African peoples of Ham, right?
So,
and yeah, I mean, we kind of went away from like that study and like treating that as a truth, and people looked more into evolution and found that's the true story of how humanity came to be.
So,
and yeah, I don't know. this is kind of related to like how all the sciences are, or how big sciences are kind of all spread among small sciences, and like the science of evolution, and as a explanatory way of how humans came to be is kind of taken as at the same level as like the metallurgical sciences. But no one has really observed a monkey turning into a human, you know?
Well, of course not. I think that in principle, the process of a monkey turning into a human is knowable, meaning that if you study it long enough and you keep your mind open, in the end you will understand the process. But certain questions about the life origin are not even in principle knowable. No matter how much you study evolution, you cannot get to the bottom of the problem of the creation of life. So
yeah,
there are issues that are addressable, and some issues are hopelessly unaddressable.
Yeah, and I'm not coming from this as like a young Earth creationist or something like that. I'm more of an agnostic when it comes to a lot of science stuff. But I am kind of questioning, the big narratives we are kind of handed down.
Yeah,
and how some people are kind of elevated to like a priest status, or prophet status even.
The big question is, are you allowed to question it or not? As long as you are allowed to question, then it is still science. And the evolution of people from monkeys is a story that keeps changing. Every 10 years or so, it undergoes a major evolution, which is good, means it's a true science. And no matter how many times it will change, it will get to a target in the end. If it was frozen, then I will say, well, forget about it, they're not serious. So, for example, the out of Africa theory. Yes, it's true. Now you think it's not true. Now you think it's true. Every time there's new evidence, you doubt your previous theory. Fine, that's exactly how it should be.
Yeah. Like when you put it that way, it sounds fine. But and I don't think people are that dogmatic about it in the scientific communities. But I don't really like how, all this how all these fields have kind of impeded upon like the traditional understanding, and I kind of think that the traditional understanding of humanity and the stories, I think it has kind of undercut the religions. So And it seems like it kind of accelerates the process about people not understanding history or where they came from. And when people are faced with that kind of these kinds of problems, they just pull evolution out of their hat and they say it's all relative and everything changes. Life is change, and
The
and change
problem,
just happens.
the problem with the evolution theory, it is not predictive. Let's say that I'm a best student of evolution ever. And you pose me now a practical question. Now you're a species. What do you recommend us to do? Do you want us to develop a longer tail or shorter tail? Should we go back to the water? Should we learn to fly? What is your recommendation for a species in order to be fit and survive to the future? Evolution cannot give me an advice. Evolution is very nice theory in describing the past, but it doesn't amount to making a prediction about the future. For me as an engineer, that is a problem. Then how is it useful?
Yeah. And it seems like, like that's a good measure, like predictiveness. Like I can predict, like from looking back at how long we've been abusing metals and stuff, like if I can predict how much force it will take to break this piece of copper I have or this piece of iron. And like how much temperature can it handle, and how much current can I put through this wire that is of this thickness, and like the predictiveness is something that is sorely missing in the evolutionary field, but they just keep, like the talking heads, they just keep coming on the stage and say we have all this prediction, this is going to be the humanity in 100 years or so, and just like, oh, okay, you don't really know what's gonna happen in 100 years, so. Like if you look back at 1926, if you ask them to predict the next 100 years, they would not be dreaming about, like you will be able to talk with a person on the other side of the earth in real time, and it will show your face and it will broadcast your voice. Most of the people would think you're insane if you went back and told them that.
I will give you an example. When I was young, I read a story, a science fiction story. And it started with a man traveling to the moon. And there was this shuttle. And everybody went on the shuttle and they took off, and it took several days, and they landed on the moon. Normal transport, normal everyday transport. What is the first thing that everybody did when they landed on the moon? They queued for the telephone to ring back home, tell the family that they arrived safely. This is a complete failure of prediction, because telephoning happened, the smartphone happened, and traveling to the moon didn't happen.
Are you a moon landing skeptic?
No, I'm saying whoever wrote the story got the story completely wrong. He thought the normal everyday transport to the moon would be possible, but didn't imagine that everybody would hold the telephone in their pockets.
Oh,
He thought that after you landed to the moon, first thing you queued for the public telephone to phone home.
Yeah. I was kind of spacing out. Yeah, you were talking. You weren't talking about the actual moon landing. Yeah.
Okay, now about the moon landing. After seeing so many conspiracy theories coming true, I can understand the people who are skeptic about the moon landing. If I were them, I would be skeptic as well. However, I'm slightly older than most people, and I've been in the high-tech industry, and I have worked with that generation of engineers that made the moon landing possible. And I'm telling you, apropos Nephilim, that there were giants. I have no doubt that they could have done it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've entertained that possibility myself, that it was faked or something. But after looking at the engineers kind of getting the old flight computers to work again, and just kind of reverse engineering it and getting it to work, I have a hard time believing it. All that work kind of just wasn't used for that actual purpose of getting us there. Now, however, there is kind of a couple of questions we are kind of left with. I think that neither of the NASA worshippers or the moon landing deniers come up with, and it's kind of boils down to, why didn't we go back there and build something permanent?
Because there's no business. There's no business case.
Yeah.
You make a profit and loss sheet on an Excel. How much you put in the enterprise, how much you gain. It's not worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes me kind of question, like, all that money and all that research effort and all those sleepless nights for those engineers and technicians and project managers. It kind of makes me question, like, was it the point? Was it just a goal to get a lot of people to work together to create new technologies, and that technology was actually the goal, and the moon, like that goal was just that? Like, that's why we didn't go back. That's why it has like new like technologies that got us to the moon probably won't get us to Mars and stuff like that. And some of the Mars stuff I've been hearing from Musk, like that we're able to travel there and live there. Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, I'm not sure I believe that. Like, let's try to build some homes here in the Sahara, for example, or in the Las Vegas desert first, before you go to that godforsaken planet. But yeah, like that's. So it seems like there is a lot of mythology coming out from that, and like that's that field, like the rocket science field of exploring outer space, that field has also undercut, traditional cosmology and our place in the universe. Like Earth is just a speck of dirt in the vast universe now. And
It is, but it doesn't mean that there's any life anywhere else. It still can be, in my mind, that it is the only inhabited speck of dust in the whole universe. I have no problem at all imagining it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not really up to me to have, like if God made it this way, then who am I to question it? Like other life forms, I guess. But I mean, I think people aren't giving enough respect to like how the Earth is and how it is some kind of, it occupies some kind of a center, like a sweet spot for us to inhabit. Like all the other planets around the solar system, they don't look like nice places to live.
Well, they're impossible to live.
Yeah.
But the question is, are you going to attempt the impossible? And I knew a generation of people who had no problem in attempting the impossible.
Hello, sir.
This is a dirty trick that you played on me.
Why? What happened?
Starting a stream. We're going to talk with Sam about Tucker Carlson. Bye. And I'm sitting here for 3 hours. 3 hours now, minding the shop.
What'd you talk about? Who'd you talk with? I saw Claire on for a little bit. I didn't actually hear.
Corax is here. We talked mainly about crows and ravens. Claire, I don't know. She disappeared without saying goodbye. I never know if I didn't offend her.
You most likely did. It's hard not to offend.
Or maybe I bored her. And she was very clear about being envious about not being on Tucker Carlson.
Well, yeah. Well, Sam and I are going to do an actual Tucker Carlson thing right now, so that's why I jumped on. Okay,
so I need some rest, so I will jump off.
I'm going to end this stream and I'm going to start a different stream.
Yep. Okay.
You're the shop owner. You do it as you wish.
Okay. I will Shabbat Shalom, Yoav, and let's end this stream with our usual. I'm going to use host's prerogative to put the Reverend Parcells to bed because he does need to get up in the morning.
Sorry, Reverend. Thank you.
But before he goes, I have a question. Let's say, God forbid, that I were to burn somebody at the stake for not being a Trinitarian. And I did not repent of that. Is that a salvation issue?
Sometimes Jacob takes that devil's advocate thing too far.
There a proverb that says something like, "Don't answer a fool according to his folly."
But there's a proverb that says, "Answer a fool according to his folly."
There is.
Exactly right. And I'm going to leave it to you guys to determine, which of those was applicable in this situation as I go. So, but anyhow, good.
Thank
It was
you,
good
Reverend.
to
Thank
chat
you.
with you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
The